Welcome everyone. Here we are going to discuss the last class under phylum Platyhelminthes, that is the class Cestoda. Class Cestoda, the name has come from two Greek terms, that is cestos and eidos, which means good. Now, Cestoda, it is a group of endoparasitic platforms, so it includes individuals which are completely endoparasitic, exclusively endoparasitic platforms. They are commonly referred as tapeworms, and they are intestinal parasites in vertebrates. Okay, in the vertebrate intestine, we can find many of the cestodes being endoparasitic. Okay, as we have already known, it is dorsoventrally flattened, elongate, ribbon-like body, and we can find that they have a tegment. Their body is covered with tegment. It is provided with a non-cellular layer which is known as tegment, and it is meant for protection, absorption, gas exchange, and excretion. And this tegment it is also provided with microvilli for increasing surface area. Okay, body it is divisible into three regions, that is Scolex, neck, and strobila. Usually when we speak about the head is meant for food capture or feeding, or it will be having some kind of oral structures, something related with eating, feeding, etc. But unfortunately in this case they don't have any such structures on their anterior end, and hence we don't use the term head, instead we use the term scolex. Okay, but this scolex is provided with hooks and suckers which are used for attaching onto the or adhering onto the intestinal wall or the host body. Okay, and neck is a region which is situated between strobila and scolex, and it is an unsegmented, unconstricted region. From here onwards, the scolex is not dorsoventrally flattened, while neck and strobila, they are dorsoventrally flattened portions of the body. It is from the neck region new segments are produced and it is being pushed backward, or new body segments bud off from the neck region. Okay, and strobila, it is a main part of the body. It is a segmented part and it is a main part of the body. Okay, we will be looking into in detail when we discuss about the Taenia solium. Okay, then as we have already mentioned, body is covered by tegment. The organs are there to adhere onto their to the host body. Being endoparasitic, they don't need any locomotory structures, and the digestive system, respiratory system, sensory structures are altogether absent to suit to the parasitic mode of life. And they are hermaphroditic, that is, both reproductive structures are present in the same individual, and reproduction is sexual, and each segment of the strobila, it is referred as a proglottid. Okay, each segment in the strobila, it is referred as a proglottid, and each of the proglottid do have the complete reproductive structures, the male as well as the female organs. Complete set is present in the mature proglottid. Okay, I suppose proglottid means it is each segment of a strobila. Okay, already we have you are familiar with the segmentation or metamerism found in the tapeworms. Okay, now regarding the life cycle is involves hooked embryo, that is an embryo which is provided with hooks, specific hooks. So even the embryo, it is parasitic, it need to adhere onto the host body, so they are provided with hooks. The life cycle is a little complex, having two different hosts. One is a definitive host and the other is the secondary host, the vertebrate host, and one or more invertebrate hosts. So life cycle is completed among these hosts. Okay, the examples, it is Taenia species, Echinococcus, you have Echinobothrium. So there are plenty of examples, and among these you need to learn in detail about the Taenia species, which are commonly known as the tapeworm. Okay, so this is the different examples of cestodes, and this is the one, the Taenia species. You can see it is dorsoventrally flattened, ribbon-like, right? And as this is the anterior part and this is the posterior part, since we don't have any head region and a tail region, it is almost similar, but only one thing is that the width is different. As we go posteriorward, we can see that the segments are becoming more and more wider. Okay, so now the Taenia solium or the Taenia species. Okay, Taenia species, we can see they are commonly referred as fork tapeworm, the pork tapeworm, Taenia solium. Okay, specifically. Taenia is commonly referred as tapeworm because of its long, flat, ribbon-like body, and it is exclusively endoparasitic flatworm. And there are plenty of species coming under the Taenia genus, and here we will be looking in detail on Taenia solium. Okay, so Taenia solium, when we speak about the systematic position, it comes under phylum Platyhelminthes and class Cestoda. Okay, it is an endoparasite in the human intestine. The life cycle is completed in 2 hosts, so it is a digenetic parasite. Okay, the you can see here the primary host is humans, where the adult stage occurs, and except the adult, all other stages are found in the secondary host. Usually, it is pigs. Even we can find there is even the larval stages, it occurs in the secondary host or the intermediate host, and we have already mentioned usually pigs form the secondary host, but sometimes we can also find goats, cattle, dogs, sheep, horse, etc. As intermediate host or secondary host. Okay, so that is about the general aspects of Taenia solium. We can see the structure in detail now. You can see this is the Scolex. As already mentioned, all the cystodes do have body being segmented into 3 parts. That is the anterior Scolex, then an unsegmented part, the neck, and a highly segmented part, the whole, it is the strobila. Okay, so Scolex, neck, and the rest of the body is referred as a strobila. Now, this is the structure. Okay, I hope we will be looking in detail on the morphological features. The body of Taenia, as already mentioned, is long, dorsoventrally flattened, narrow, ribbon-like. The length may go up to 2 to 3 meters, right? And it is found that the body is like opaque white in color. We have already seen the figures, and here you can see it is almost white in color, maybe creamish in coloration, and the body is narrow anteriorly, right? And gradually it broadens towards the posterior end. Okay, laterally it broadens out to and the posterior most segment is the most broader one, right? So that is about the morphological aspect. When we speak about the body divisions, as already mentioned under Cestoda, it consists of 3 what you call body divisions. That is the Scolex, anteriormost, then we have the neck and a long strobila. Okay, highly segmented strobila. Scolex is the anteriormost part, while the neck, it forms a very short unsegmented portion, and strobila, it is a very long segmented part. Okay. Now the Scolex, when we speak about, it represents the anteriormost end of the body, and it is a small knob-like structure. It has a small knob-like structure. You can see here, right? It is not dorsoventrally flattened. It is having a rounded shape. It is knob-like structure, and you can see this is the figure, the actual photograph taken. Okay. And here these parts, okay, this is actually taken under the electron microscope figure, and you can see these are the hooks, okay, with which it actually clings on to the wall of the intestine, right? And here these are the suckers. Suckers are not provided with hooks. Okay, this is the figure, and here this is the diagram which shows the parts. Okay, we'll see it in detail. So the Scolex, it is knob-like, biradially symmetrical instead of dorsoventrally flattened. It is at the apex. It is a here you can see. Sorry, yeah. Here you can see a prominent mobile cone-shaped part. It is known as a rostellum. This is a rostellum part. Okay, you can see that spelling over here, and it is being provided with 22 to 32 curved hooks. Okay, you can see here. Okay, curved hooks, which is chitinous in nature. And it is arranged in 2 rows. Okay, this is the inner circle and the outer circle. You can see the outer circle. Okay, so these 22 to 32 curved hooks are arranged in 2 rows around its base. And hooks of the inner row alternate with that of the outer row. It is very clearly found. This is the one in the inner row, and this is alternating with the hooks on the outer row, right? And each hook, if you see the structure, this is the structure. Okay, each hook consists of, you can see here, this is the base, right? This is the outer one and this is the inner one. That's it. Okay, or the large hook and the small hook. I'm sorry. So each hook consists of a base by which it is fixed onto the what you call rostrum, uh, and a blunt projection which is referred as the handle, okay, which is directed towards the apex, and a conical outwardly directed blade. Okay, so you have the sorry the what do you call this is the hook you can see here. Okay, it is with the help of the base, it is attached to the what do you call the body, and they have a blade and handle. The handle it is directed towards the apex, while the blade is directed towards it is directed outward. Okay, and the broadest part of the scolex, it bears four hemis. You can see here, this is the broadest part, isn't it? This is the scolex, and this is the broadest part, and it narrows down on either side. So the broadest part of the scolex, it bears four hemispherical, highly muscular suctorial organs. These are the suckers. Okay, they are the suctorial organs, and it is also referred as the acetabulum. Okay, and you can see these suckers are devoid of any hooks. They are not provided with hooks or spines. Okay, this is the scolex. If you see from like from above, if you see from above, this is how it looks like. Okay, so I hope the scolex, the structure of scolex is clear. The scolex, with the help of its hooks and suckers, it lie buried in the horse intestinal mucosa, and this helps them for adhesion to the body against the loosening action of peristaltic movements of the horse intestine. That is, it remains in the intestine, isn't it? So there is food movement along the intestinal lumen. So these what you call the tapeworm, it should not be carried along with the moving food. So for that, it has to get adhered to the internal wall of the intestine, or it has to get adhered to the intestinal mucosa. And this is done with the help of these hooks and suckers on the scolex. And so it can be considered, it is actually the organ for adhesion. Okay. And also already mentioned, the scolex doesn't have any role in capturing the food or in perceiving the food. Okay, and hence the word head is not being used. Now the next part is actually the neck. Okay, as already mentioned, neck, it is like yeah, it is very small unsegmented part over here. Okay, it is just located behind the scolex, and it is thin, small, narrow, unsegmented part which grows continuously, and it keeps on proliferating proglottids. As already mentioned, each of these segments which make up the strobila, it is known as a proglottid. Okay, this is a strobila. The whole part is a strobila. Each segment of the strobila is known as a proglottid. Okay, and this proglottid is being produced from the neck. Okay, that is, it is produced from the neck by way of transverse fission. So the part of the neck, it will divide by transverse fission. Okay, and it will produce many segments beneath that. So that is how the what you call the proglottids are produced from the neck, and hence this particular region, the neck region, is referred as area of segmentation or area of proliferation, or it is also known as budding zone or the growth zone, because it is in this region where the proglottids or the segments of strobila are being produced, are being budded off, and it is being pushed backwards. Okay, so that is about the scolex and the neck. Fine. Now, so that is already mentioned. Now, the next is the strobila. Strobila, as already mentioned, it is made up of smaller segments, and each segment is referred as a proglottid. Okay, so we'll be looking into in detail the structure of strobila, the structure of proglottid, the different types of proglottid, and then the life cycle of Taenia solium in the next video. Okay.